In the news this week, a peer says NHS Trusts are putting transgender rights before women's safety. A new report reveals the persecution of Christians in Nigeria has drastically risen. And Northern Ireland's First Minister vows to resist Westminster's abortion diktat. Hello. NHS Trusts are putting transgender rights before women's safety, a peer has said. Writing in the Daily Mail, Baroness Nicholson said NHS trusts across the country have issued guidance saying patients should be accommodated based on the gender they say they identify with. This means they can pick which ward, toilets and shower facilities they use. As a consequence, Lady Nicholson said female patients have been left distraught, and many who have expressed discomfort at this turn of events have been accused of transphobia and hate crime. We have heard cases ranging from dementia patients distressed at waking up next to someone who, in their mind, looks like a man, to reports of a rape on a psychiatric unit undertaken by a biological male who identified as a woman. Despite the likely backlash, the Baroness remained undaunted. What matters more, she said, was finding a way of protecting the vulnerable. Academics suggest there may be up to 5,000 patients in the UK with prolonged disorders of consciousness, known as Pdoc, such as being in a vegetative state, who are actually conscious. Neuroscientist Professor Adrian Owen, neurologist Professor Neil Scolding, and ethicist Professor John Keown contend that their research has serious implications for medical practice. They outline their findings in a letter to The Times. Remarkable research using neuroimaging has shown that about 20% of patients labelled as Pdoc are in fact fully, or at least partly, conscious. However, they continued, in its latest guidance, the Royal College of Physicians does not recommend the use of such technologies to detect consciousness. They labelled the position of the health organisation as indefensible and called for an urgent review of its guidelines on scientific, ethical and legal grounds. Thousands of Nigerian Christians have been murdered or abducted by Islamic militants since the beginning of the year, a civil liberties group has reported. Intersociety estimates that almost 3,500 Christians have been killed in Nigeria since the 1st of January, attributing the majority to extremist Fulani herdsmen. Despite almost half of the Nigerian population identifying as Christian, the country is one of the worst in the world for Christian persecution, being ranked 9th in Open Doors World Watch List. Lord Alton of Liverpool described the report as shocking and chilling. And finally, the First Minister of Northern Ireland has said he intends to fight the Secretary of State's direction to make abortions more readily available. Last month, Brandon Lewis ordered the province to make Westminster-imposed abortion regulations fully operational by the 31st of March next year, but Paul Givan has said he will contest the move. Givan made his stance clear in an interview with the BBC.
Well, I spoke to the Secretary of State and I said to him he shouldn't do this, that it was wrong for him to do it. I was disappointed whenever he proceeded in issuing that direction. We are taking legal advice now as to the implications of that legal action that he has taken and what our options are legally to resist that, and it certainly is my intention to resist what the Secretary of State has done by way of a direction, but I need to look at all of my options both politically and legally whenever it comes to this particular issue.
Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all of our stories plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.